Okay, so look here. Hello. So our subject last time, if you remember, last subject we mentioned encapsulation or data hiding. Yes, what's the meaning of encapsulation or data hiding? Okay, what we do to make encapsulation? Yes, so what we cover, what we want to protect in our code. We want to protect the data, yes? The variables, the attributes, okay, of the class. So to do it, which keyword we will use? Private. So we will make the variable private. When the variable private or the attributes private, what's this mean? This means you cannot reach it from outside the class, yes? So we mentioned the encapsulation last time, and we said that encapsulation or data hiding means we protect our data. We hide our data by using the private keyword. Private, this means this variable or attribute name cannot be reached from outside the class. So any other class creating object from this class foo, for example, inside the main, you create like this, foo f1 equal new foo. Then you cannot say f1 dot name equal something. Why is this one error? This cannot happen. Because the name is private and you cannot reach, name is private and you cannot reach it from outside the class. Okay, what we do usually if we want some other classes or code to reach our data, we allow method. So why we allow method? Because the methods or the functions inside the class can reach the private data. So okay, before we continue, let's take that in. Yes. Open your Bluetooth. I will not give you code. I will use the Bluetooth. So, right. Okay. Is it work for you? No. something happened here. Okay, we used password this time. Next time I will use the Bluetooth. So the password is 748 937. Take it quickly. I will close it after a few seconds. And don't send it to your friend. I will count how many one here. Finish? Okay. I will finish that sentence after 10 seconds. Okay, in that 10 minutes. I will open that sentence again. Same password. Same password here. I will always take that sentence at the beginning. Someone come late, he should not ask me about that attendance. Gone. Finish. No attendance for him. Okay, 10 seconds. I will close that attendance. Okay. 1, 2, 3. In that attendance. Okay, we finished from that attendance. Let's continue. So to protect the data, we make the data private. If we make the data private, we can reach the data only inside the class. So we create methods inside the class to reach the data. It's depend on the security, what level of security you want to use here. So if you need the data to be readable only, you can use get method, get name, get birthday, get ID, get anything to return the data for the outside. So make it available for the outside to read it. But if you don't, if you have only get, you don't have set, for example, this means this name, it's only readable from outside. So any other class outside can read the data using get name, but cannot write or change the data. If you allow this one, which is set method, we use it usually to get data from outside to our variable. So we allow to read and write here. We allow writing the data or change the data using set method. Okay, so what's the difference between this variable name and this variable name? We mentioned it before. I asked you. It's okay. What's the difference? Who knows the difference? How many one with you? No, what's the difference between this name variable and this name variable? This come from where? And this come from where? What's the meaning of this keyword? What's the meaning of this keyword?
I don't know what it's point line.
No, it's point to the object of the class. This means this object of the class. Okay, everyone come now. You have to know that we already took the attendance, and I will not take the attendance again for you. If you come late, you don't have attendance with me. I will not say don't come to the lecture, okay, but I will not take attendance for you. We already finished the attendance. Don't send me email, don't send me message. Okay, I will not change the attendance. You are absent for me if you come late. Repeat it many times and congratulations. Gole gole. Devam sizlik. Okay? Next time, come early, everyone. Okay, when we said this means this class or the object of this class. So when we have two variables have the same name variable for the class and name variable as a local variable as a passing parameter, then inside the function, inside the method, when you mentioned the variable directly like this, means the local one. So this name is pointed to the name as passing parameter. But if you start with this, means this object of the class. So the variable belong to this object, which is the outside name here. Okay, let's take example for it. We have this example. I don't want to write the example again. Why? Okay, I will use this one. Okay, as you can see here. Hello. Okay, it's available now. We have a class X here, and inside the class X, we have variable num, it's equal 5, and we have method print data, and we have parameter here, which is num also. Then we said print num inside this method. Inside the main, we will create objects. Okay, so create object from the class X. So X equal or X1 equal new X. How are you? Fine? Okay. What's this X? Yes. What's this X? Last name. Okay. I did not ask you. What X1? Yes. You. X1. What X1? X1. You can let until you lift your bread at the house, for example. You are here. We just start. We mentioned this 3 lectures. We are week 4, yes? So 3 points we mentioned here. What's this one? It's one. Okay. Object name. When we want to use a class, we create objects. So this class name, object name, equal new X. Yes. What is X? This one. Let me select it. Yes. What's the highlighted X? I don't know. I have to ask other people. Constructor. Okay, I have one question. What is a constructor?
Is the name of the class.
Right. So it's a method or function that have same name as the class. Practice, yes? Practice. Practice more. Okay, so we cannot come and say, for example, print data. And for example, 20. This error. Why it's error? Why it's error? Where is print data? What is print data? Its method belong to whom? Class X. I can reach it from this class? Directly, no. Because it's belong to the object of the class, yes? It's belong to the object of the class. So to reach print data, we have to use the object x1 dot print data. That's why we have to create object from the class to start using the methods and the variables of the class. Okay, so we call print data, give num 20. So what's the output for this one? For this code? What this one will print? Output means what this one will print. What this code will print? How many one? Let's say 20 like him. So it will print 20. Why? We take a 20 for none, then we print none here. We print it. So it will print 20. Okay, I will change only one thing here. Sys dot none. What this will print? 5. Why 5? Why it will print 5? Because num here equal 20 as a local variable, but here what we print, the variable of the object. Why? Because this mean this object, which is x1. So it's like you said x1 dot num. So what num of x1? It's 5. This means this object of the class, the current object of the class. Let's do something. X2 equal new X. What we did here, we create another object from the class. Okay. X2 dot num equal 10. What's the output now? Who says 20? Who says 10? Who says 5? Okay. Before see the output, let's draw it in the memory. Okay, let's draw it in the memory here. To imagine it, I will draw it in the memory. So you remember the memory for Java. Yes, we have what? Heap. And we have stack. Okay, we created two objects, yes? X1 and X2. We said every object have its own part in the memory. Okay, so inside X1 we have num, and we have function which is print data, and print data it's have its own data which is num. Yes, yes, print data it's have local here, as you can see. Have another variable, integer num. Yes, this is for the class, or the object of the class. This for print data. Okay, so, and this one same. We have num, and we have print data. Okay, and it's have its own variable num for the print data, this one. Okay, let's follow the code. First of all, what we have here in the code, we said what? Create object X1 using the constructor X, and create object X2. When we create object from the class, we have num in memory, and it's have value 5. Yes? So num will have 5 here, and num will have 5 for X2 also object. Okay? Then we called, or we said what? X2 dot num equal 10. X2, where's X2? X2 dot num equal how much? 10. So we change the value of num inside X2, not inside X1. So now it's equal 10. Continue. Then we call print data using what? X1. So we speak about print data of object X1, and we give it 20. Okay, so x1 dot data, we give it a 20 for num, so num here inside print data of x1 equal 20. Okay, continue. We call what? Print data using x1. What print data do? Take num and print num using this. This what? This object. We call it using which object? x1, yes? So means x1 dot num. This is the value of num here. x1 dot num. So why? Because we use x1 to call it, to call the method. So it's x1 dot num, which is 5. So we'll print 5. Okay, same code, same code. Now we said instead of x1, where is the mouse here? Instead of x1, I will say x2. What's the difference now? We call it print data of x2. So this means the object that we are using it now, what? Which object? x2. So when we call print data using x2, this become what? x2. So x2 dot num, how much x2 dot num? It's here, 10. Of course, print data dot num equal 20. But this means x2. x2 dot num 10. So if we run the code, spin. So if we run the code and we said x1 dot print data, x1 dot print data, the output will be 5 because it's num of x1. So if we run here, you can see that the output is 5. If we run the object using, if we run it using x2 object, we change num and make it 10. So this dot num means x2 dot num because we call the method using x2. So the output is 10. If we remove this, num it's become local 1. So it's the passing parameter, which is 20. Okay, finally I can use the mouse. So if we run it, 20. If we run it using x1, what's the output will be? Also 20. x2, also 20. Why? Because num here is the passing parameter. We did not use this. Okay, so passing parameter, I did not change it, it's 20. So this is the meaning of this keyword. This means this object class, because we could have more than one object. So object, because that viewed, it's become data in the memory when we use the object. So it will be stored in the object bar. So different object. So this means the current object. If you use different object, you have different data maybe because it's different part in the memory. If you did not understand it, when I upload the video, repeat it. So maybe you will understand it. Maybe. Okay. So we mentioned encapsulation. Let's go now to our subject here, which is exception handling. Okay, we have two types of error that could happen to our code. Compilation or compile time error. It's easy to find this error and detect it, like syntax error. Here, for example, we have error. We write n. There is nothing n. We want to write integer int a, but we forget the t. Or if you forget to put semicolon, this syntax error is compilation error. The compiler will stop you. The compiler will stop you. Type mismatch, for example, you have a string for integer. Okay, you can speak outside, yes? If you would like to speak, you can speak outside, both of you. Okay. Another type of error, which is runtime error. Okay, runtime usually critical, dangerous error. Why? Because runtime error, it will happen with the end user usually. You open your mobile in some application, you use the application, and suddenly the application what? Crashed, it stopped working. What happened? Runtime error. It's difficult to detect this error usually because the compiler will not detect this error. It happened in some occasion, not always. For example, you have in your code x divided by y. Okay, x integer, y integer, x divided by y. There is no error, yes? You can run the code most of the cases without any problem. Until you said that y equal 0, then what will happen? Crash. Your code will crash during the runtime and will stop executing the program. That's why we named this runtime error exception. What's the meaning of exception? Something that not happened always. It's happened in sometimes, okay? So it's exception, not always happen. But it's dangerous because it crash your code, it crash your program. So imagine you create a program and you give it for the end user, and the user, during the use of the program, it will suddenly crash and stop. Okay, one time, okay, another time, third time, this means your program or software, it's not good. Yes, it's have problem. So what to do? We have to do something called exception handling. What's the meaning of exception handling? Exception handling or handle the exception. What's the meaning of handle? Okay. Okay, my friend, my car is broken. Have problem. Don't worry, I will handle the situation. This means I will take some action to solve the problem. Yes, this the meaning of handle, to take some action if the exception happened. So handle the exception or exception handling means instead of let the program crash, I will detect this exception and try to do something rather than crashing the program. For example, here we have part of the code. Okay, you know the scanner, yes? This one, it's object from the scanner. You can name it a scanner, input, read, scan, anything. Dot next integer. What's this one? To read integer value, and we read another integer value. Then we divide value 1 by value 2. Okay, I need someone who really study to tell me what's the line that should be here before this one. You attend the morning lecture, so don't answer. I remember you. Yes? Who know? Yes. Import what? Okay, it's not directly here. Okay, we will import Java dot util dot scanner. But we still have something. What's this scanner? It's object from the class scanner. So we need to create the object, yes, before using it. So we have here scanner, and what's the name of the object? We already use it here, scanner with a small letter, equal, new, scanner with capital letter. Okay, and we have inside it parameter, which is system dot n. What's this one? We create the scanner object. We can name it anything. Okay, what's the problem of this code? Yeah. What's the problem of this? Okay, we have the scanner import and everything. What's the problem of this code? What? Value 1 is integer value. Yes.
It will be a white space because we are using print line for the. I think we.
No, it will calculate the result and print it. Here's the problem. You can see it. We are dividing by value 2. Yes? So there's some problems that could happen if we read value 2 and the user give us 0. What will happen here? Value 2, 0, then this code will crash. So if the user give us value 2 as 0, this code will crash. So what I need to do, I have to have this exception, check the value. In C language, we said if value 2 equal 0, then print error, and else do this. In Java, we have a structure for check the exception, which is a block that called try, catch, block. What's a try catch block? Inside the try, we put the code that we want to avoid exception inside it. This means it tries this code until some exception happens. If any exception happened inside the block try, it will do some code through, you know, like through the ball, sorry. In Turkish, what through? Atmak? Okay, atmak. Or through. When I through, what you will do? Catch. So this block, if some exception happen, try block means try the code. If some exception happen, throw the exception to the catch. That's why it's named catch. It's catch the exception thrown by the try and do some job here. For example, print error message. Could be do anything else. Read a specific value or do anything else. Okay, print something, close the program, do anything. Okay. This is a try catch. Catch, it's take parameter, which is the exception object. We have many types of exceptions. The general type, it's named exception, like this. So I will write here object from this class exception. So exception E, for example, inside this one here. Then I can use this E to reach more data about the exception. Why we create object from the exception? To use some methods, some functions that exist in Java inside the exception class that allow us to do some job. For example, get message. It's a method inside the exception that returns the error message for the user. Okay, we will try it. So let's try this one. So we for group 2 exception 1. So we will use the scanner. I will create object from the scanner. Okay, import it. We import here java.util.scanner. Then I will name it scanner or input, read, scan, anything. X, Y, Z, doesn't matter, but it's better to be a readable name. A new scanner system dot n. Okay, now I will tell the user enter the first value. Then I will read the first value. How to read? Scanner dot next integer. So I read data from the scanner. I should keep it inside variable, yes. So I will define variable integer value 1 equal scanner dot next integer. What's this code? To read integer value from the user. Okay, we read first value, we will read second value, same code. I will just copy and paste. Okay, please enter the second value and value 2. Then out print what I will print, value 1 divided by value 2. We said this code have problem. If we run this code, okay, enter the first value. Okay, for example, how is it? Okay, it's become bigger now. Okay, enter the first value, for example, 10. Enter the second value, for example, 5. We don't have any problem. It gives you the result, which is 2. Run again. Enter the first value, 10. Enter the second value, 0. So what happened? Execution failed. Why failed? Because we have exception. So your code is cracked or crashed. Anything here after the crash part will not work. For example, this message will not be printed. Why? Because until here, and your code is crashed and stop. So your program will stop and will not continue. Yes. So here, okay, enter first value 20, second value 0. Forget to bring my water. Take the medicine. So we are in the first floor, yes? Yes. It's okay. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes, not go outside, because I will not give prayer. Because I have to take my medicine. Okay. Let's continue. Yes, hello, friends. You take around 5 minutes break. It's good. I usually the courses that have only 2 hours. I don't give break in the middle because we already take it 1.5 hours, not 2 hours. So no need for a break. Okay. So this crashed here. What's the solution? We will use try catch. Try catch. What is important? The exception handling. The exception handling means you handle only the error, the exception, but your code will continue working. So if your program has runtime error exception, it's not crash and stop working. No, it will give message for the user or do something. Okay, for the user tells the user there is error or something like this, then continue working. Okay, so to do it, I will use block try. Okay, where the error could happen here. So all this inside the try. Then after it, I will write catch. Catch, it's need a parameter. This parameter is object from the exception class. So exception E, for example, it's a block. So it's need begin and end. What's this exception E? It's the name of the exception. We have more than one name. Illegal argument exception, type mismatch exception. You can Google it, find what type of exceptions we have in Java. You will find what type. The type of the exception, then object from it. We could use it, we could just create it without use it. So I will print a message here for the user, for example, error. Okay, what's different now? Now, if we run value, for example, 10, give me second value, for example, 2. Okay, we have the result 5, and in the program, we did not enter this catch because there is no exception. Yes, but if exception happened here, if error happened, for example, and 0, what happened? Built successfully, yes. The code is running without any problem. What happened here? You enter 0, we give you the message, error here. And then the code continue and we reach this one, the end of the program. So if you still have many jobs inside your program, it will continue working, the other jobs. Okay? Okay, let's use this E. E, which is the object of the exception, taught how to use object. we write the object dot, then we found what inside the object. We have this one, get message. What gets message? It's return detailed message about this throwable, means this exception that is thrown, okay? So you remember when the program crash, it's give you division by 0, yes? So this will give the default message for the exception, which is division by 0, but still we handle the exception very successfully, and this is the message. From where does this message come? From get message. Okay, let's continue. So the exception handling, as I mentioned, generally we have two blocks, which is try and catch block, but we could add third block, which is finally. Finally, you can see it. I think here. Okay, block, try, catch, finally. What does this mean? Try, catch, finally. Try this code until you get error. If you get error, the error will be thrown to catch. If there is error or there is no error, the finally will work. So if there is error, it will try to catch. After catch, you will go to finally. If there is no error, after finish try, you will go to finally. So if there is error, from try to catch to finally. This means finally block executed always, anywhere. If there is runtime or error, there is no runtime error, it will be executed. Why we use it? We use it to do some cleanup code. For example, if you open a file, close the file. If you open port for connection, network connection, or something like this, you will close it. Okay, then why we need finally block? Because we will close it. If the error happened or not happened, we will close it. So if the catch run or not, we will close the file, we will close the connection, and so on. So finally block, it's a block that will always execute it. Even exception happened or not happened, it will be executed. Okay, let's see some keywords that we have. Try, it's the try block. We mentioned it. We put inside it the statements of code that we expect to have exception. Catch, it's a block to catch the exception and do some action inside it. Throw, it's the action when we throw the exception from try to catch. Throws, it's keyword. We can use it to force exception. For example, okay, if we have integer n, for example, and I need n to be less than 100. So I will set if n greater than 100, throw a new exception, blah, blah, blah. We will take the code. So what does this mean? This means I can force the exception. I can throw exception. Throw exception inside the try will throw it to the catch. So what's the meaning of throws here? I can, as a programmer, check some value and depend on it to throw exception. We will take example for it. Okay. We have this example for exception handling. We will take this example. We have this class, okay? This is a class diagram for that have only one class. The class is time1. Okay, it's have these variables, hours, minute, which and second, which is all integer. And we have this minus. What this minus means? Yes, what's this minus mean? It's a private, yes. It's a private variable. And we have the constructor time1, it's take variable hour, minute, and second. And we have set hour, set minute, set second to read the hour, the minute, and the second from outside. And we have toString. What toString? ToString method, it's a method that return a string value that will be printed if you print the object of the class. So, shortly, toString actually, it's a method inside Java. So it's a default method inside Java. When I said default method inside Java, all default method inside the class in Java, it's called object class. It's name object class like this. It's have many methods. One of this method, it's toString method. What toString method? When you create object from the class, for example, class X, X1 equal a new X. If you come and said system dot out dot print line X1, what we do print the object. Printing the object directly called to print or toString method. Sorry, toString method. So when you print the object, it will call directly a method called toString. What toString method? It's return a string value. So it's return a string value. This string value will be printed. Let's try it. I will mention it here. Is there a solution for the fuse? Have sound like. Okay, let me use an example. I think we can use this one. Okay. We create object here, X1. So when we said like this, print, why it's not, okay, X1. We printing what? The object of the class. We have object of the class X1. We print the object X1. When we print the object, it's directly called, we don't have this method here, toString, yes? So it will call the default one. So it will print here, as you can see, what it's a print. This package and this the address in the memory of what of the object x1. Okay, so I expect that toString default method, it's return what? The address of the object. I can create my own toString method to string. Okay, what's this method? Okay, I will create it. I create a class, no, not the class. Okay, so what's method? It's a method that returns a string to be printed when you print the object. Okay, so toString, it's a print what? It's return some string, for example, anything. When you print the object, it will call this method. So it's return a string, so string, cell error. Why cell error? I will tell you why. It's difficult. It's difficult to understand it now, but I will tell you why. This method must be public. Must be public because we have the default method toString. Default method toString, it's public. When we create method, have same name, like exist method in Java, like default method, or like a method that in the parent class, we did not take parent class, so forget this sentence. Later, I will mention it. Okay, we cannot from the more general access to more specific access. So the original one toString, it's public. You cannot make the copy, your copy, to be less general. For example, private or default. Default, it's more restricted than public, yes? That's why this one must be public. Now we don't have error. Okay, so toString must be public. So public string toString. What's this toString? I did not call it here. Yes, but when you print the object, it will call it. When I don't have it, it calls the default one, which is return only the address. But if you have your own, like the constructor, it will not call the default constructor when you have your own constructor. It will call your constructor. Here's same issue. We create our toString. It will call toString. So object x1, we print it directly. It will print toString, what we have in toString. So the output is hello. From where it's come, we print x1. So we print the object of the class. It's directly called toString. toString is to return hello, so it will print hello. We use it usually to print the values from the class. For example, I want to print, okay, num equal plus num. So what this will print? Num is equal 5 here, yes? So it will print num equal, then the variable num of the class, which is 5. So num equal 5. You can print anything from the class here. We use toString usually to print data, the class, instead of every time, okay, call method or for printing or print the variables one by one. You can just print the object. It will call to print method and print whatever you here in to string method. I know it will not be clear until you try it yourself. You have to practice. It's like when you come to the driving license lessons, okay, and I tell you, okay, this is the clutch, this is the gear, and you have to press the clutch before put the gear, then you remove the clutch slowly and press the petrol. You will go to the car. If you did not go to the car, you will not know how exactly it will work. When you go and make practice, first time, okay, turn on the engine, press clutch, put first, then remove the clutch, press petrol, then off directly the car. Why? Because you need to practice. Okay, how much slowly I should release the clutch, then press the petrol, then it's need practice. Same issues of programming, need practice. Without practicing, it will be a problem. Oh, what? Why they brought a teacher who speak only English for us? Yes, yes. Because it's 100% English course. I think intentionally brought me for you. They give Dr. Qasim a 100% student, and they give me you because they want from you to know English. It's 100% English course. Anyway, even by the way, they send us message in the department, and it's come from Zayok, from the Ministry of Higher Education. That's the courses that 100% English must be teach in English language. And there's some teachers who use Turkish language in the 100% English course, must not use the Turkish language. Same issue in 100% Turkish. For example, for PhD, we have a Turkish program. They said you cannot write the thesis in English. It must be in Turkish because so Turkish program or Turkish course in Turkish, English course in English. Finish. Okay, so focus here. I'm trying to learn Turkish language, but it's difficult for me because I'm not young now. When I was your age, I received some money. Okay, it's good. But it's not too much, I think. It's from one of my friends. It's a small amount that
Can share
with me. For what? You need money from me, for example? Or you want me to share my iPad with you?
Of course.
Okay, let's continue. So this toString method, we can create what time we have to finish. 10, 11, 10, yes? Let's create the code and we can see it next time after we finish. I already took the attendance, yes? Yes, but not for you, yes? Because you came late. Next time, come early. week 4 group 2 time. So I will create another class. I will name it time1. Okay, so let's check here what we have in time1. We are very late. We have minute, hour, minute, and second, and constructor, and set hour, set minute, set second, and toString. Okay, so first we have integer hour. We have integer minute, and we have integer second. All of them should be private according to the class diagram. Private, and private. We have the constructor, okay, public time1, and have this variable integer hour, integer minute, and integer second. Okay, later we will see. What's this one? Wait. It's a lot of nine. Okay, what's this one? Time1, this one. But I like it by blue. Public time1 have some arguments. What's this one? Guys, sleepy or sick? Okay. What time? Like this because you like this because yes. That's why we become dead. Yes. Constructor. Yes. It's a constructor of the class. Method has stem name as the class, so it's the constructor of the class. Good, good. So I will create the methods. So we have void set hour. It's take one parameter, which is integer h, for example, or hour. Okay, void set minute, take one parameter integer minute from outside. And we have another method, void set. I'm just creating what inside the class diagram. It's take only one parameter integer set. Okay. For set hour, we said this hour. You remember it? I just mentioned it at the beginning of this lecture, yes? So what's this hour? This one? The local one, the parameter one. What's this one? The class one or the object. This means this object of the class. Okay? So this dot hour means this hour. Hour without this means the local one. Same issue for the minutes. This dot minute equal minute. This dot and equal second. Okay, what I will do in the constructor, I will use the constructor to take the values from outside. When I come here and I will create object from the class, I want to use class time1. So I will say time1 t1 equal new time1. Then I have parameter. Why? Because here we have three parameters, our minute, second. So our, for example, 28. Is there an 28 hour? No, when we speak about watch, you can see from 0 until 23. Because 0 means 24, yes? So the hours 1, 2, 3, 4, until 23, then it's returned to 0, yes? So this one error, not error, means wrong value. I will check it again. I have to check it actually. 45, 55, for example. Okay, so we pass the values here. Where we will send the values, we can write it like this. For example, we can call set hour and give it hour, set minute and give it minute, set second and give it second. But teacher, why all this? If I read hour, minute, second here, why I need these methods? Instead of all this, I could write what? This dot hour equal hour. Then this dot minute equal minute. This dot second equal second. Yes, Yes, but I organize it like this as methods because inside the methods, I want to check the value. I want to say it here if our less than or greater than or equal 0 and our less than 24, then it's correct, yes? Then take this one, this dot hour equal hour. Else, don't do anything. Or maybe I can print message, error message, or something like this. Yes? Same issue for the minutes. Because hour must be between 0 and 23. You can put the 23 and here equal, yes? Or sorry, equal is the other side. Pick less than or equal 23. Or if you don't want to use or equal, you can, because it's 0, 1, 2, 3 until 23. Same issue for the minutes. Okay, not this. You can write if minute less than or greater than or equal 0 and minute less than 60 or less than or equal 59 because minutes and second must be between 0 and 59 and so on. Okay, we will continue this code inshallah next time. Enough for today.